So John, we came down today to see your business here, Griffin Potatoes.
That's right.
I suppose as part of what we do in Vantage Ireland with Trimble, we're trying to maybe make say the public aware of what our customers are doing, you know, the relevance of the technology, I suppose how their business functions, what you're actually selling to the public to make the whole thing viable and economic, I suppose. Maybe could you give a background to your business and when it started?
I suppose my grandfather started growing potatoes in the early 1940s. It was actually for an export market to England after the war for supplying London with potatoes. That was basically it. And there used to be a boat, I think, every Tuesday and Thursday go out of Ringaskiddy. So there was a lot of farmers around here grew spuds for that market for a few years. So that's how the whole thing kicked off. And my father then kind of was with my grandfather that time, I suppose, up until through the 70s and 80s and 90s, and I kind of started then when I left school, when I finished school that time. So
right, okay. So in Ireland, it's fair to say that there was everyone probably grew their own potatoes.
That's right.
And a lot of people have left the industry over the years, probably because of maybe the mechanisation and the scale required.
That's right.
You have a big history of, I suppose, employing technology in the processing side, but equally on the farm.
That's right. I kind of personally never had any fear of technology. You kind of just go with it, and I like technology.
Right.
It does. It definitely makes life easier. I know there's no doubt about it.
It does.
Yeah.
And there's a constant need for investment, I suppose, really, is there?
Oh, there is in this business, yeah. There's no end to it.
Yeah.
No end to it. So.
And say in terms of your potato business, are you selling to trade and to supermarkets or what?
Yeah, we're selling kind of half and half between wholesale trade and selling direct to supermarkets then as well. So
okay,
it's all packaged in our own brand. So we kind of, lots of other farmers maybe might supply direct to the packers of the different supermarkets, but we just kind of, we were so long at it, we just wanted to keep our own brand, and we kind of drove on at that then. So we're busy enough, yeah.
Okay,
busy.
And you deliver all your own potatoes, say, with a truck like this as well?
Yeah.
You haven't outsourced that as such? You just
we just like to keep that in-house, yeah. Okay. So we've one full-time driver delivering constantly all the time.
Very good. And is it all Munster, or are you going further? Or
generally Munster.
Yeah.
Generally Munster,
okay.
Cork, Kerry, Limerick, Tipperary.
Yeah. And a sale for product for 12 months of the year typically?
We're supplying 12 months of the year, yeah. You have to. That's so. We started our season there, I suppose, around the start of July with Queens, and we'll go right through. What we're harvesting at the minute is Pinks and Rooster. So kind of next month then, once we get into October, we'll start storing everything, which will be in store up until next June again, until we start Queens again.
Right, okay.
So it's 52 weeks a year supply.
Very good. So what we might do is we might go and have a look at the whole bagging facility, how you wash your potatoes or whatever.
No problem,
Maybe John then might discuss how you use your tractors and the Trimble systems on it, and how you use technology out in the field. So
no problem, you're very welcome.
Okay, thank you. So John, what's happening here?
So they're the boxes that are after coming in from the field now. So the boxes go straight into the washer. So we don't grade them first or anything, they go straight in. It's just the more handling you give them, the more you kind of scurf the skin.
Right.
So the less handling, so it's straight from the field in the box, into the box tipper, screen, destoner and washer.
Okay, I'll go up and have a look at some of the process. So.
Yeah.
So John, the potatoes are coming on the conveyor, so having left the box, what's happening then?
They're going on to a screen sizer then. You can just see the small ones coming out here.
Yeah. And why are they not all being washed,
if you wanted to take seed off of them, you take the seed out here because you don't want that going into store washed.
Right.
It won't
keep it in its natural state.
Yeah. So you keep it that way. So that's mainly.
So here then it's landing in the water, obviously then.
They're landing in the water, so it's a destoner to take out any stone or clod or whatever it is. So all it is a plume of water coming up. The spud is denser, so it will come up, flow back up with the water, whereas the stone or clod of earth will fall down and out this conveyor here. Then.
Okay, on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Very similar to bead washing, I would say.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Very exactly the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I have to say it does work 100%.
Yeah.
There's no stone goes that way and there's no spud goes that way. So
okay. Yeah. So then, what's happening here then?
So here we have it's a 3 metre barrel washer. So there's just a barrel with the potatoes inside and it's rubber lined. So the potatoes are just going around slowly inside in it. And it's actually the potatoes rubbing off one another that actually wash them clean.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not going fast, it's only just going slow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you change the water often in the process?
Once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually very economical on water. Use the same water. You have your rinse bar here then. That just cleans any excess dirty water. So it's clean water coming out there.
So see, everything is rubber then as well. There's no hard surfaces.
No.
Okay.
All rubber.
Skin damage, is that an issue, or could be an issue if it was in places?
It can be early in the season. Yeah, it can be. That washer is actually pintle lined, so there's little rubber pintles inside it just to make it more gentle handling them. So.
Okay. So is that another way of washing it here again?
That's just the final rinse.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Okay. We'll move on then. So to the next section there. So lots of motors.
So every individual shaft has its own direct drive. So the sponges, you have a line rows of sponges on top with a metal roller underneath squeezing the sponge every time it goes around. So it just takes the excess water off it. Like that one is wet coming out. It's relatively dry.
Yeah.
It's not dry completely, but it just takes the excess water off it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And the water then is dropping down.
Yeah, it's just collected in a tray underneath
back
it.
into the whole
Back
cycle
in,
again.
yeah.
And so it's ready then onto the chute for the packing plant.
Yeah, straight into the inspection then after that.
Okay. And you were saying inside the bagging and the packing, it's all linked to this machine. If that's not working inside, this stops.
Yeah. So everything is linked from the palletizer. If that stops, when all the rest of the conveyors are full all the way back, everything else will stop itself.
Yeah. Okay.
It just stops overflows and.
It's huge changes in mechanisation since your grandfather started this.
Yeah. Grandfather started growing, opening, closing drills with horses, and opening them again, then to pick them by hand again. So
hugely manual.
Oh, huge manual. Yeah. I suppose that time every farmer grew a few potatoes. That's the way it kind of was.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's kind of a very specialised job.
And it's fair to say this is what we're looking at separates you from the other growers in the sense that those that didn't survive. You invested in mechanisation.
Yeah.
Which kept you efficient.
Yeah. So we're bagging everything ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So John, can you explain what's happening here now? Say the potatoes are coming in, and Jim is what's Jim pulling out there?
Jim is taking out any small one that might be in it, or any bad one, maybe more than anything else. So they all come in through the wall, washed outside. So just final inspection here before they go into the bag.
Okay. They drop into a chute then onto the
they're
elevator.
dropping into a chute and a conveyor underneath.
Okay.
To go into a separate box then.
And are they discarded or are they used for other processes?
Cattle feed mainly. Cattle feed.
Yeah.
Anything that way would be cattle feed.
Fair enough. So what's happening here then?
So here they're going onto a sizer. So you've kind of just any small one that you want to take out, and anything that'll be left will fall through this conveyor. Anything going to the bag will go through the middle conveyor. You can see the rollers lift up for different sizes. So the final one then is for big, if it's oversized.
Okay.
So at the minute there's kind of no oversized in them, they're all going to the bag.
So you recently installed this machine, is that right?
Yeah, it's in I suppose 3 or 4 months.
Okay, and so before you put this in, was it done manually or did you just order equipment?
We used to be able to take off different sizes before.
Okay.
We can split them 3 ways here now, whatever way we want.
Right.
Maybe for rooster more than anything, to bakers we want to take off. Just with this car pinks at the moment now, there's no bakers coming off of them.
So over the years you have a lot of customers with different requirements that you cater for with things like this.
The restaurants look for bigger ones for baking, so there is a market there for that.
Okay. Yeah, very good. So now this is the assembly line then again. So for the bagging line.
Yeah, so everything that's falling through that middle section is coming out this conveyor.
Yeah.
Going up into the weir then after that.
Yeah. Okay. So right, all up here then into your bag in there.
There's kind of a rise and fall hopper on top there. It's just holding a volume, I suppose, to keep the packer going all the time. if either one side stops, the other will stay going. So
Okay.
just to give a consistent supply to the wear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we go down so and have a look at the bagger?
Yeah.
So John, off the elevator now, you have there's a lot there to work with for the machine.
Yeah.
It
So
keeps it filled.
it's just a hopper to keep this supply constantly all the time.
Okay. So when it lands here, what's happening?
So when it lands here, it's putting the spuds into 10 different buckets. And what it's doing, it's making a combination out of maybe 6 or 7 or 8 of them, so that it's as close to 5 kgs. But it could be weighing within, that could be 5,010 grams maybe. So it makes up out of the combination and calculating which is closer.
Right. What's all the output of a machine like this per hour, roughly?
Per hour, it's working somewhere around 12 or 14 bags a minute
Right.
at the moment.
Yeah.
It's when you stop and change to different pack sizes, then you see you're stopped for maybe 15-20 minutes while you're changing over.
Okay. If we go down so and have a look at the bagging process there. So John, what's happening here then?
So the bags are already after being weighed, or the potatoes are after being weighed up there already. So this machine actually puts the bag on, fills it, and stitches it. So you load your empty bags into the magazine. Takes one off the back all the time. Over to the clamp. They're in the holding bucket above it, so down from the holding bucket into the bag and across to the stitcher then.
Okay.
So it works well.
So bags landing onto a conveyor then over here.
Yeah, so
Let's see that then.
the bags, you can see they're landing on sideways. So when they get to the conveyor, they'll straighten up then.
Okay. So who are you saying supplied all this equipment?
Kevin Woods Machinery in Dublin.
Okay. Yeah. Do they supply and support it afterwards as well?
Oh yeah. They're agents for, we'd say, Tong, Oakmatic, and for Bruggen the Palletizer, so...
So we'll have a look at the bag and
Yeah.
again.
So they're coming off the end of that conveyor, turning a 90-degree bend, and going up into the palletizer then to be palleted after that.
Right.
So this is the big labour saving device.
Why? What was the reality before?
It was kind of very monotonous work, like you were just constantly moving bags from there to a pallet, and you couldn't get anybody to stick it for long term.
Yeah.
So we've actually had a palletizer with the last 22 or 3 years, an older one. So as bag sizes have got smaller, the old one was only we'd say 8 bags a minute, whether it was 5s or 10s.
Yeah.
So this one now is able to handle the capacity of more 5 kgs
Right. Okay.
faster.
So how many bags are put on a pallet now with this?
Just there at the minute now, there's 100 per pallet going on it.
Okay.
But it can do anything, you can set it at any...
Yeah. And does it shrink wrap the pallet at all? Or
No, it doesn't, because we'd only wrap it as it's going out.
Yeah.
Because if you wrap it too soon, it'll sweat inside the plastic.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah.
Fine.
What we find with it as well is we can, if somebody orders 50 bags, you can just put in 50 and change it back to 100 again. So
Yeah. Huge flexibility with it.
oh yeah. While it's still working, you can change whatever you want on the pallet.
Yeah. Yeah. So these pallets here then are ready for delivery too, are they?
Yeah, they're ready for delivery today now. Yeah.
Do you do your own deliveries as well, do you?
We do all our own deliveries. Yeah.
Why? Keep it connected to the customer or?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. So we'd have, I don't know how many deliveries a day. We could have maybe 14 or 15 different places to go to every day. So yeah, just supermarkets want them early in the morning. They want you in before 9 o'clock and gone before customers, obviously. Yeah.
So the walls then, it's insulated panel, is it?
It's all insulated panel. Yeah.
Why?
Just for cleanliness, I suppose, more than anything else. There's no steel exposed or anything like that.
Yeah. Temperature
Insulated, not so much here, but obviously for frost in the winter it has to be insulated. You can't have stuff going out. Yeah. So
Okay. Perfectly level floor then.
yeah.
Okay. So we might have a look here. So you were saying earlier about these are for the restaurant trade, is that right?
Yeah, the bigger ones are for restaurant trade, for bakers.
Why do they want them bigger?
just for bakers, they want them uniform size. So small ones for baking are they're not much good. They need to split them open and put a filling in them. And
Okay.
yeah.
Next one.
So you've smalls here then.
Yeah. Where would
So
they head for?
they'll be going for cattle feed.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And same with the next one, or what's
And you have the rejects here then. Any cut one or bad one or green one or anything like that, that's manually picked off. Then
Okay.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
animal feed again.
animal feed again. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now some of the small ones we can keep as seed as well, but just not at the moment. The crop wouldn't be mature enough. So
Right.
they're not brought out. Because when they go into store, we'll have some that we will take seed off of again.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Good. Perfect. Your potatoes, when they're harvested, they go into a cold store.
That's right.
Why is that?
It's just for long-term storage. We'll bring them in. They might come in at maybe something between 12 and 14 degrees. So what we actually want to do first when we bring them in is dry them.
Right.
So this is actually a positive ventilation fridge. So what it's doing is blowing the air out through the top and sucking it back through the crop to get to dry as fast as you can. That's the key to the storage, is you have to dry it first.
And is it sucking it out underneath, or is it
It's sucking it back through the boxes then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So
What temperature would be? Does that temperature vary then at the start versus, say, for the rest of the year?
yeah,
or is
so when they're coming in, they're coming in at 12, 14 degrees. So we want to, first week is drying is the most important thing. From there on then you're pulling temperature out of them roughly at about 0.5 degree a day.
Right.
Until they come to 2.5 to 3 degrees.
Okay. And that's you keep it at that then?
We keep it at that.
Okay.
Now we'll take, when you have it down to the 2.5 to 3 degrees, it might take another week or fortnight just to stabilise them completely.
Right. And would you check them then during the year, or what are you looking out for? What things could go wrong, bar the temperature?
We'd say
Being
you're
lost.
checking for any rots, silver scurf on the skins. So you need good ventilation to stop condensation maybe on the top.
Yeah.
So
power is a big requirement here. Then
yeah.
you're using a lot of power,
yeah,
electricity.
especially when we're pulling that temperature from the 12 or 14 down to the 2.5. That's when you are
Right.
really yeah.
Okay. So you're picking here then as you need it for
So
the rest of the season.
for the
then?
rest of the season, then they're coming out
Yeah.
whatever way we need it. Then
back into your
That's right.
cleaning area, or whatever. Yeah. Good.
So the potatoes they're harvested straight into the boxes, straight into the fridge, and out of the fridge then straight into the washer.
Right.
So
Okay.
as little handling as possible.
Yeah. Very good.
So John, I see here behind us you've your Massey Ferguson 6718 with guidance on it.
Yeah.
So when did you first introduce guidance into the fleet?
It was in 2019 that we first started with the guidance. So we started off with the guidance auto steer, fully auto steer straight away. So it was a big change.
Very good. And what accuracy is this system on?
It's on RTK.
I see you're 1 inch accuracy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I suppose, what would this tractor be doing during?
Generally, I suppose the reason we bought it was for ridging first day. It's just the ridging is so important to keep the ridges bang on even, straight as well, but evenness is more important, that you don't have wide ones and narrow ones.
Yeah.
If you have them too wide, you have a skip with the sprayer. If you have them too narrow, you have an overlap. So that was the biggest reason we bought it, was to keep them straight and even. Even is the big thing.
And you can see the benefits from using the system.
Oh yeah. I couldn't. It was a job that I didn't particularly like before. It was just, you were all day just concentrating so much. But now it's just, you can sit back and leave the tractor do the work. You just leave it do it. That's it.
Very good. That's great. Right. So John, with this tractor, you were saying you use the guidance on this for ridging.
Yeah.
Do you use it for anything else throughout the planting process?
I know we'd use it for lots of things, but I suppose until we build up, we actually have a new sprayer bought for next season that is section control, ray control. So I suppose as we go along, we'll build up more machinery, fertiliser spreader maybe at some time to tie back to the GPS. That's the way it's going to go. That's the way the future will be, I think so.
Very good. Yeah. So your new sprayer now for next year, you'll automatically be able to control rate and section control through the GPS on your tractor.
That's right. Yeah, and through the iBus as well on the same screen. So
very good.
yeah.